Hey guys, and welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to show you guys how to replace the thermal paste on one of these 2009 to 2010 plastic MacBooks. So let's just get straight into it by shutting down the computer. And once it's shut down, you can close the lid and flip it over to open the machine up, of course. So I'm gonna get my iFixit toolkit and unscrew all the 8 screws on the bottom of the MacBook. And you might recognize this MacBook from the MacBook parts slot. I've fully fixed this computer besides a few minor things that I need to buy for this, such as a hard drive bracket, because this doesn't have one, and a new bottom case, which I don't really need, but the stuff is not coming off. And I did clean the bottom with some toothpaste. You can kind of see this side isn't as clean as this side, so yeah. Now that we're inside, you can see the hard drive is not secured properly at all, so you can just unscrew the battery. Can get this screwdriver bit. This battery uses 3 screw types because these are just screws that I just found from other MacBooks or electronics that I have. Screw's kind of stuck. Well, now that that's out, you can take out the battery. And yeah, can start disconnecting all the connectors from the logic board. Done. I'm going to take out the SSD because that makes it easier for me. And now we got to remove this vent up here. Need a screwdriver bit for that. Wrong screwdriver. And now we need one of these screwdriver bits to unscrew these hinge screws at the top. Alright, so there's that vent piece. Can also put that aside. Can unscrew the fan. There we go, it's our fan. Put that aside. Can disconnect the display connector. There we go. That fell off. I should just remove this entire piece because it's not needed. Anyways, now that that's done, can finally get to unscrewing the logic board. Finish unscrewing the last screw, and then we can unscrew the MagSafe port screws. There we go, last screw. There we go. Now we can just slowly lift the logic board out from the MacBook. There we go. Can just take this top case and put it aside. And now can start to unscrew the heatsink of the MacBook. Go. Now we can just remove the heatsink. Can see that thermal paste. I need a Q-tip, which is, I'll be right back. I got the Q-tips. There we go. So now we can just spray some alcohol. There we go. Just clean off that crusty old thermal paste. Get a tissue to get the rest off. You know, the CP. Yep, that's Core 2 Duo right there. And now we can just clean off the graphics. I think this is the graphics. Yep, this is the graphics chip. Get another Q-tip here. Oops. Go. wipe all of that. Can give this graphics chip a good cleaning. Final wipe down, I mean. There we go. Now it's time to clean off the heat sink. Spraying a certain amount of it on there. You can take another tissue and wipe it off. There we go. That's done. You can just push that aside. Clean that up later. Now we can wipe off the residue. Q-tip. There we go. Why not just clean off the heatsink itself? I know I'm cleaning it with a Q-tip, but I don't care. There we go. Alright, so now that the CPU and heatsink are clean, can get our thermal paste and apply it to the chips themselves. There we go. I only have a little bit of thermal paste left. So applying a good amount to the chip. There we go. Now we can put the heatsink back onto the logic boards. The paste will spread evenly across. And now we can screw it in. There we go. Now that the board is repasted, can clean off the table and get our top case and reseat the board back into the computer. Or, yeah, just reseat the board. There we go. Can connect all the connectors. Make sure you connect everything before you screw the board down, because then could screw the board down and start connecting the connectors, and then it turns out that you forgot to, that you left, that you screwed a connector what am I saying? That you left a connector under the board and now you have to unscrew everything. And, no, actually, you could get, a connector could get stuck under the board, and then when you screw everything down, then you realize that a connector's stuck, then you have to unscrew the board to free it. So, that wouldn't be good. So, now we can just screw it, put in the fan, and screw it in. Now we can screw down the motherboard again. Or the logic board, whatever you want to call it. I love repasting computers. It's just so satisfying to see all of the old thermal paste just flake off of the CPU and heatsink. Can screw down the board. There you go. You can screw in the last two screws for the logic board. Last screw. Disconnect this connector before. Can plug in the hard drive connector now. Can connect the keyboard. There we go. Now we can put in the vent. Can screw in the Phillips screws. Oops, sorry about that. Now we can screw in the hinge screws. Last hinge screw. There we go. Now we can put the SSD back in our Western Digital drive. There we go. Put that in. And the battery. This battery was actually thrown out at my local trash station, probably because it was worn out. That's what I assumed, but the battery life on this is actually amazing. I don't know why they threw this out. And it's an original Apple, battery. So, I don't know why they threw that out. Screw that screw in. Put it back in my iFixit kit. Disconnect that. Can screw in the other screws. It's the last screw right here. Now we can connect the battery. Wait, I need to readjust the keyboard connector. There we go. Can connect the battery and put the bottom case on and screw in all of these screws. Can screw in the last 3 screws on the MacBook. Oops, that fell down. Don't worry, it fell on my chair, not the ground. This falling on the ground would have been a nightmare, but give the display cleaning. Let me get a paper towel so that I can scrub off any thermal paste that got stuck to it. All right. Now I can turn on the machine. There we go. And yeah, that's about it for this video. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. Please like and subscribe and check out my Twitter at ufelix5. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.